Hey guys, so I wanted to share with you today what I'm doing instead of raw till 4. Yes, you heard that right. Not going to be doing raw till 4 anymore. Well, maybe I'll go back to it. This isn't a forever goodbye. It's just a little put him on the back burner for a while, or her. I don't know, I guess what raw till 4 would be. No, what I'm doing after a year of doing raw till 4, I've come up with, let's see, a guideline, I guess, an extension of raw till 4 that I feel is going to be very beneficial for me in where I'm at right now. Now, I just want to tell people up front, this may not be something that everybody is going to want to do. And in fact, I know it's not something that everybody is going to want to, jump on and do this plan instead. And I'll kind of talk about that as we go on. But basically what it is it's going to be an ideal that I keep in my mind to go along with raw till 4. And the reason being how I kind of came to this is because just in the past few days before Christmas, I lost, I guess it was like 3 or 4 pounds pretty quickly. I don't weigh myself all the time, but I noticed I had a drop, and so I was like, well, I just had kind of naturally eaten raw right up through Christmas. I kind of have this theory that it's like something astrological because I read something about it like that said that you should fast towards the end of the year, and rest and reflect. And so I was naturally already doing reflecting when I read that, and I was actually already naturally fasting. Not like a lot, not like fasting at all, but just overall eating a little bit lighter. Wasn't as hungry in the morning, wasn't pushing myself to do a bunch of juice like I used to or anything. But I would maybe have smaller smoothies or even just maybe do one or so smoothie. And so my calories have been like around 2,000, on an average. And so this is much lower than what I had been normally eating. And I'm kind of like, first I was kind of like worried, like, where's my appetite? What's going on? And then I read that and I was kind of like, oh, well, I think maybe it's just the time period. I think it's just this time of year. Whatever the meme was in the article that it was said that it's the most yin time of year. And I can really relate to that. I have studied a bit of Chinese philosophy and whatnot, and the yin and the yang. So if it's a very yin time, you naturally just wouldn't want to eat and you would want to rest and reflect. And I found that my kids and some of the kids in my daycare are actually kind of going through a similar phase where they're just not very hungry. So I always feel like certain things go in phases like this, and I pay attention to them, and so I'm not really worried about it right now. I feel great. I'm not wanting to binge. I'm not being tempted by things that I shouldn't be. I'm doing great, so that's my gauge to know that I'm doing fine. So again, I noticed that I had lost a few pounds, and I was feeling really, really great. I felt like I looked great. I feel like that bloat that I get on my face was gone. And of course, it's because I'm not eating those added salts. And one thing, I kind of had a salt revolution. Not a revolution, a revelation. I had a salt revelation. And it was that I feel like I was putting it on the back burner, like, oh, salt's not as important as fat. I really just need to work on my fats. And when I started out, that was the case. I didn't need to focus so much on salt. I needed to focus on getting my fats down. And I did that. And now that I feel like I'm much better at that, I wouldn't say a pro, but now that I'm much better at that, now I need to start looking at my salts. Because what happens if I just say, oh, it's going to be forever, before I'm getting my salts down. If I just put it on the back burner and say I'm going to get my fat all the way down, I'm not sure if I'm really making myself clear with what I'm saying, but I always wanted to put on the back burner. After I lose this much weight, then I'll really focus on fat. And I stopped myself and said, no, now's the time. I don't need to lose any more weight before I get there and focus on that. Because who knows, the last 10, 20 pounds, may very well be just from the salts. So that was kind of a revelation to me, a wake-up point. I've always known that, my whole year of doing raw till 4 has been a lot of cooked food. It really has. The proportion has been around 50% at times, 3/4 at times. At some times, like this past weekend that I had after Christmas, there was virtually no raw food there on the weekends. And so this knowledge, combining that with the fact that that's just kind of how I roll, like I just eat unhealthier on the weekends, I get my, excitotoxins, I go out to eat, and then I eat really well throughout the week. So I said, well, why don't I just take this to the next natural step? And so I present to you Raw Tilled Weekend, or just Raw Till Weekend. And again, I do not want this to be something where people are getting real restrictive with it, because even the Raw Till 4, don't be restrictive with it. That's not what it's meant for. That's not what it's made for. Durian and Freely have said, go ahead and eat cereal for breakfast if that's what you want. It's the concept. And yes, the formula of big smoothie dinner works well for a lot of people. But the thing is like, if you're like me and you don't get as hungry in the morning and then you push it back, and I mean, I might just have one small meal of fruit before going into, a meal or two of cooked foods. And that's fine if you can make sure that you're always doing the right salt and fat ratios. But that's the challenge that most people get hung up on. So I'm not going to force myself to do it. I'm not going to be strict about it in the least at all. Can't stress that enough. Like, I don't believe in that. It's the opposite of what this lifestyle is about. This lifestyle is about abundance. This is just going to be a guideline that I go by. I mean, we all know that I wouldn't be able to stick to anything if I made a hard guideline anyway. So, don't even try. Your body's going to get what it needs. It's going to do what it needs, get what it needs to heal itself if we just get out of the way and let it. So, Raw Till Weekend, I will start incorporating more raw dinners. Really, one of the only things that I'm doing is the tortillas. So I'm going to be trying, instead of doing the burrito, I'm going to do the burrito bowl and just leave the tortillas out and see how raw I can go. And I've got some tips in mind for how to do this, and that's a whole nother video. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to try this out. If anybody else wants to try it with me, I feel like I've definitely hit a plateau. I'll tell you kind of about my results more, but I have been at a plateau for a while now. Gosh, I'm not even sure. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. More videos coming up right after this. And happy New Year to you guys. Thanks so much for supporting me all year. You guys really make a huge difference, and I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have great feedback from people like you. So thanks again for watching, and I wish you the best New Year you've ever freaking had. Health, prosperity, love, family, friends, joy, and gratitude. Remember, you cannot actually be happy without being grateful. It's pretty much impossible. So if you know people that are sad, just go out and spread the message that you just need gratitude and fruit, and you will be a very happy person. Seriously.